Guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here with all of the Gypsy Rose Blanchard updates. I've got things about her, I've got things about Ryan, I've got stuff about Ken, and we're just going to throw it all into one video and get caught up to speed. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright, you guys, so at the top I want to give a special shout out to Conspiracy. I follow her over on TikTok. I'm not active on TikTok as far as posting content, but I do follow her and support the content that she puts out. She works really hard at providing updates, and you know, she's going to talk about something, there's usually a video or a screenshot to go along with it, so it's not someone just rattling off a bunch of stuff with no proof, no evidence, no nothing to back it up. I appreciate her, so a lot of these clips that I have compiled are from her, so all credit goes to her. I'll link her TikTok down below. I've talked about her before. I've included her content in my reactions before, but a lot of the credit for this compilation goes to her. Secondly, let's talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard getting rid of her Instagram and her TikTok. She did not delete them because we know the little gremlin is far too self-serving to actually delete all of the views and likes that she's received, but she has deactivated both of those accounts. Now, how do I feel about this? It's been done before, it's been said before, it's been this big aha, oh, I'm gonna get rid of my pages before. We've seen this happen. I'm not buying into it. I don't think that she's going to be gone for very long. I think that she thrives off of attention and the drama of social media. The little gremlin truly believes that she is a celebrity, and I don't think that she'll be gone for long. And the other reason that I put that celebrity, D-list celebrity label on her yet again is because she is also sharing that she is selling some of her wardrobe from Life After Lockup, that trashy Lifetime show that she did. She's sitting here reselling clothes that nobody would want. And here's my whole thing. If you're supposed to be this reformed person, an upstanding citizen, you're here to really show people that you've changed, instead of trying to collect dollars off of a Shein sweater that you wore on a Lifetime show, why are you not donating everything and not asking for a single penny from the public? She is so money hungry and greedy. She also, before deactivating her TikTok, she had her Cash App linked in her TikTok bio. Why are we asking for money from strangers for clothing, for anything? You have made all of this mountain of money that you're sitting on because you unalived your mother. And more importantly, you groomed and, did all the things that you did to Nicholas Godeshan so that he would carry out the act for you. We know all of that history. And why are you sitting here in 2025 linking Cash App and trying to sell your ugly sweaters for any amount of money instead of donating them to people that could utilize clothing? And as a side note, I've said many times before, I am a big fan of decluttering my closet, getting rid of things that I no longer use. I love that. It gives me a really good feeling to get rid of stuff that I'm no longer finding a use for. Gypsy has labeled herself as somebody who is a DV survivor, an abuse survivor, by Nick, by her mother, by her grandfather, all of these claims. She labels herself as a victim or a survivor, whatever she wants to try to put it as. If you are truly here to do things that you believe in or what you think should be done, then those cheap sweaters and all of this stuff that you buy should be donated to a domestic violence shelter in your area. You should not be coming on the internet asking for a single penny for these ugly clothes. And on top of her being greedy, asking for money for this nonsense, who wants to buy anything that Gypsy Rose even touched? Not me. So that's kind of what's been going on as of the last couple of days with Gypsy. Let's jump over to this compilation that I have put together, again, courtesy of Conspiracy on TikTok. She has summarized a lot of stuff that I thought might be interesting to y'all. So let's just start at the top and go from there.
Text messages between Gypsy Rose Blanchard's ex-husband Ryan Anderson and baby daddy Ken Euchre have now been shared on social media. Now, these text messages were posted by Without a Crystal Ball on her IG story, and they're allegedly text messages between Ryan and Ken. So Ryan is in gray, and it starts out saying, "Okay, Gypsy." Ken says, "F off, dude." Ryan says, "Whatever, Ken." Ken says, "Change your number every 5 minutes, eh? You're blocked. Get effed." Ryan replies, "Okay, homo." Ken replies, "Okay, limp, D-I-C-K." Moving on to the second one, Ryan says, "I have recordings of Gypsy calling you gay. Maybe I should post them. Don't F with me." Ken replies, "Okay, and we can post the receipts of you threatening to release certain photos of her, you giant piece of S-H-I-T. Go tell the world some more S-H-I-T about me, Ryan. It's Gypsy, by the way. I've seen your lives. You think you have any right to ask me how I am after that?" Ryan says, "Never did ever have released anything." Then I'm guessing Gypsy replies, "You still threaten to. We have screenshots." Ryan says, "I haven't said anything negative about you."
So I have to say two things about that. Number one, I really like Conspiracy, but obviously, Without a Crystal Ball sharing receipts, they should be taken with a grain of salt because she has been problematic for years on all platforms. But let's just say that these texts are real. Why are two grown men, or Gypsy if she had Ken's phone, why are we arguing over a gremlin? A murderous gremlin. Why are we arguing over her as if she is the prize? And I talked before, very recently, in fact, about some of the homophobic language that Ryan has used towards Ken, and it hasn't sat very well with me. I think that there's a way to, if you are going to engage in this immature back and forth over the little gremlin, there's a way to not come off as like that's the only card that you have to play, is allegations that Ken is gay. I said months ago, I don't care if Ken is gay. I don't care if he's going to be gay or if he was in the past. None of that has anything to do with any of the criticisms that I have for him as a person. But I do see Ryan pulling that quite often, talking about Ken is gay and talking about rainbows and all of this kind of stuff, and it doesn't sit well with me. I'll be honest, but let's move on.
Blanchard has always been TMZ's source when it comes to putting out articles about her. And we knew this last year, but now that her prison emails are out, we have even more proof of that. Why this email in particular is so important, because Gypsy is breaking her NDA with Lifetime to give TMZ information. It also covers the situation where when Gypsy first got out of prison, her parole officer called and said she had to leave the state immediately because the media put out a story about how Gypsy wanted to go to the Kansas City Chiefs game to meet Taylor Swift. In all actuality, it was Gypsy who gave that story to the media. So first, we're going to read this email from October 2023. So Gypsy is replying back to TMZ, and she says, "Okay, as a source close to Gypsy, these are things my friends would actually say about me, and I feel weird typing it, LOL." I'm gonna pause to read the full thing, go ahead, but Gypsy mentions that she will thrive outside of prison and that she will be an impactful advocate for both mental health awareness and Munchausen by proxy. Incredibly well adapted and self-aware. Attitude and level of dedication to better herself through multiple group mental health therapy sessions spanning 8 years has prepared her to transition back into society and is the primary reason that she has been granted parole. Here she says, "This isn't public knowledge and I don't plan to make it public due to safety concerns until afterwards, but my husband and I bought tickets to a Kansas City Chiefs game. I am a huge Taylor Swift fan, so I'm hoping that maybe I see her there. I plan on giving a shout out on Instagram and Twitter while I am at the game. I am hoping she sees it. It's a long shot, but I am a loyal Swiftie and meeting her would be the best start to my new year. I would appreciate you using the source so I am not in breach of my NDA." That's when, in November of 2023, a month prior to her release, TMZ puts out this article. Right, that Gypsy's top priority when she gets out out of prison is linking up with Taylor Swift. You saw the prison confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. You remember the scene where her parole officer calls her and tells her that she has to leave the state immediately. Gypsy ends up crying. It's this big, huge ordeal. Gypsy's lawyer then gets on the phone and afterwards tells Gypsy's family that word got out that she was trying to go to this game and to meet Taylor Swift, and that the media had blown it out of proportion and manipulated it. In reality, it was Gypsy giving the story to TMZ. Then Gypsy goes onto the Vile Files podcast and says that TMZ got a hold of the story and that they blew it out of proportion.
6 months before I got out of prison, Ryan and I were looking at fun things to do in Kansas City.
Absolutely.
And so he saw that there was going to be a Chiefs Bengals game. He said, okay, that would be so cool. Let's buy tickets because that would be so much fun to do on New Year's Eve. So we bought our tickets, and then, 3 months or so later, I find out that Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce. And so I'm like, that would be so cool if she was at the game and I got to meet her.
Just happen to run
into
her.
her. That'd be
we're
cool.
going to find her.
It was so, it was so like nonchalant. It was just like, that would be cool. She's my favorite singer. And then TMZ got a hold of the story. But also TMZ called me a felon. So, I mean, in the article,
Like famous murder.
yeah, something like that.
That's the first thing she wants to do.
The comments were like, oh my God, Taylor Swift is in danger. This murderer is going to come after her. And it became this big thing. It got blown out of proportion. I'm not a stalker.
So you weren't in any way trying to...
Yeah, of course. We knew that she was the source. I think most of us agreed on that. She was feeding TMZ info and she was telling them, oh, I'm going to be at this airport at this time. This is where my flight lands. You guys can have your photographers there and act like it's we saw Gypsy Rose at the airport. She was talking about the Menendez brothers. We knew that much. But for her to, again, we're going back to labeling herself as an advocate when she has done absolutely nothing to advocate for anyone but her own checking account and her own income. You want to say that you're this reformed person and you're going to get back into society and you're ready for it and all of this stuff. If you were ready to hold it on your own, then why was it that you were pressuring Ryan, Ken, and whomever else that came along to marry you? I have to have a home plan. This is what will make me happy. We've seen all the emails. So you're not holding it on your own and you're this great person who's been reformed and is ready to re-enter society. You had to utilize a man, whomever would, step up to it and do it, which it ended up being Ryan. That helped you. You were not a reformed person ready to re-enter society.
Tried to play off that Ryan was trying to force her to have a baby, right? And her dad was even caught saying in the show, don't have a baby right now. It's not a good idea, basically. But their prison email exchanges tell a different story. In December of 2021, she emailed her dad and she said, I am so overjoyed to get my early release date. I joked with Ryan and told him, well, December 28th, we're making a baby. So she did want a baby with Ryan. And I did find messages where she is telling Ryan she cannot wait to have his kids. And making names for their kids. But this email is where it gets interesting. Her dad responds and he says, yes, a baby. I want a grandbaby. In fact, right here is them discussing the names of their potential children. And this is another name that they considered. I was also able to find out when they officially started dating because they wished each other a happy 1 month. So the date for dating is July 2nd of 2021. So the video I made where I was like, hey, is there overlap here? Were y'all already dating? They were.
2 things. Gypsy Rose would have had a baby with whomever was okay with impregnating her. I know that sounds really crazy, but it would not have mattered who it was. She wanted a baby so that she could have... This sounds really bad, but she wanted a baby to have like a plaything. She does not look at her child as a living, breathing human that she's going to have to literally raise into adulthood and make sure that person doesn't unalive her because she unalived her mother and, karma comes back around. She looks at it, she looks at the baby as a prop. And that is very disturbing. I fully agree, but it's exactly what she has shown us. It would not have mattered if it was Ryan, Ken, or Joe Dirt. She would have allowed it to happen with whomever. Right, now let's get into these clips with Ryan's live and Ken went live at the same time. They were going back and forth. Things get really messy, but this first clip is Ryan Anderson's thoughts on Gypsy's prison emails being released. He was hurt someone was sending her money, but most importantly, he again gives grace to Gypsy. He gives grace to her. Oh, that shouldn't have happened. It was wrong. Ryan, you are the jackass of the century. I have never met somebody who has been so publicly shamed over and over and over and is still sitting here being a bootlicker for the person that is orchestrating all of the embarrassment for you.
The emails being released, my thoughts on that. I disagree with it because, yes, Gypsy was an inmate. Okay, she was an inmate. But that doesn't mean she wasn't a person. Now, granted, these emails are telling. They tell a story. They are eye-opening. I mean, they're telling. But also, I was hurt when I found out that Gypsy was getting money from some lady every week. That hurt. It was kind of like, damn, because if she ever needed anything, I was always there for her. That hurt. And to know that they had some weird fetish or something going on, I don't know, I haven't read all the emails, guys. I haven't. There's probably way more. I don't want to look into that. I don't want to look at them. Okay, I don't want to look at them. Okay, I hear stories and I hear things. It's just, I would go down that rabbit hole and I would get lost there. I would get lost there. Okay, I still don't like the fact that just because she was an inmate doesn't mean that her emails shouldn't have been private. And I'm not defending her. I'm not. I just don't agree with it. The ladies that released them, they wouldn't want their emails released.
Ryan, you big fool. You are the biggest fool that I consistently have to call out on my channel. Number one, if you want privacy in your emails, then, don't go to prison for unaliving your mother. Secondly, yes, the people that release them might not want their emails released, but guess what? Those people were not sitting in prison for unaliving their mother. How many times are we going to circle back around to you downplaying what's going on here? Why are you still so loyal to Gypsy? She would literally run a bus over you and back up and run over you again and laugh on her way out. She literally calls you stupid anytime she has a stage to stand on. But here we are.
That email. It's a shame that I even have to talk about it. It's a shame. And I'm mad that people even did videos where they accused me of it or allegedly. All right. Let me tell y'all something about my ex-wife. That girl gets insanely jealous about things. Insanely jealous. Okay. I was telling her my ex did have a kid. Young kid. I was telling her a story about me and my ex on a couch watching a movie, and something started. And in Gypsy's mind, the kid had to be right there because of the fact that she had a kid. So in Gypsy's mind, the kid was right there, had to have been right there, and she ran with it. Boom. Hung up on me. The whole thing. All right. We had a huge argument about it. I was like appalled that her mind went there, number one. But, apparently she had a situation where her mom did something in front of her while she was on the couch. I don't know, something to do with Gypsy's past. So Gypsy's mind went there. Okay. And I had to, she hung up on me and didn't call me back for a couple of hours. So of course she wrote an email to her friend Brian, whatever. But it's a shame that I have to address this because nothing like that ever happened.
As far as what Ryan's talking about here, I really don't know. That might have been a little chapter that I missed. To me, it sounds like Gypsy is projecting on things that either could have happened in her past or could have happened current day. I'm not sure. If y'all have thoughts about that specifically, obviously any thoughts, drop them down below, but I'm a little confused as to like what he was talking about, but let's keep going.
Care about me, because that's literally all that he ever talks about in his live. So I don't think he's ever done one single live where he doesn't reference me or Gypsy. That's like, okay, let's go ahead and address this NDA thing, because I've been seeing a lot about this NDA. I never signed any NDA. I don't know where anybody gets this from. I mean, like, y'all pull things out of your ass on the daily.
Apparently, Christy had said it on a live, and she didn't know.
Well, she doesn't know what she's talking about, because there's been no NDA that's been...
This whole NDA conversation is proven to be incorrect here in a few minutes. But I want to talk about Gypsy and Ken sitting in the same room with their infant child. Number one, later in this compilation, he is vaping literally in the same room as his child, and he's doing a lot of sniffling. And if y'all can put two and two together, in my opinion, it seems like there could have been some snow involved in this evening, because he gets very angry and very irate and wants to literally fight Ryan, do a boxing match. He says that it's going to make great content. There are many concerning things about, like, why are we sitting on a live? Imagine years from now, their child being able to look at these clips and think, oh, my mother's ex-husband was on a live, so my father jumped on a live while he was clearly out of his mind to challenge her ex-husband to a boxing match while literally spitting fire and vaping, even though I was an infant.
Signed between me and Gypsy. So if Chrissy speculated that it may have happened, well, it didn't happen. There's no NDA at all. I'm not.
And I feel like Gypsy in the background of this live is really like putting on quite a performance about her mothering her child and being so overly involved. Like, your man's is sitting here wanting to battle your ex-husband and clearly doing something a little extra on the side, and you're making sure that you're loud and vocal while attempting to take care of your child. What an absolute circus all of this is.
I don't really care about the emails, because the emails were written years and years and years ago from somebody in a heightened emotional state, so I really don't care.
Years and years and years ago, as in when she was a full-grown adult, going into late 2023, right before her release. Again, both of these, I guess technically men, defending this little, like, why are we defending? Why are we fighting over? Why are we doing anything with her? I think that they are both wrong. Some of them are shared, some are different, but it's all embarrassing. I think we can agree on that much.
Oh, I'm lying about the NDA? Why would I lie about that? There's no NDA. I mean, that's my point, is that you guys, a lot of the haters just believe anything and everything that they read. I got like several DMs about like me having the stroller out on the beach where Aurora wasn't with us, and we were just like faking bringing her to the beach. Maybe she was being held at the time.
So this clip of Ryan, again, it's got that underlying homophobia that I do not like. I don't care for this. I think that he could easily sit on live and give criticisms if that's what he wants to do, but I don't like this pattern of this underlying homophobia that he displays. I don't like it, and that's my opinion, but let's watch the clip.
Is he live? Good for him. His bald ass head. I hope he's live. I love he's going live. What a douche. Ken wants to battle. Ken can battle my nuts. He'd like him. Battling that douchebag. Like, Ken wants to battle this.
Sir, care, but you do care, because as soon as someone says it, you react to it, you respond to it. You don't ignore it and continue talking about what you were talking about before.
Motherfucker. I don't care that he's talking about me on his live. Man, that's great. Good for him. I'm not talking about him, so it's just kind of funny. You think I care? I really don't. It's kind of funny that he's talking about me. Why don't people say, oh, Ken, he's obsessed? Ken's been obsessed about dudes. Just is what it is. If he wants to battle me, I live in Lake Charles. We can do it the old-fashioned way, not the social media way. Okay? And I will say that. If he wants to battle me, come to Lake Charles. He knows where I live. His baby mama knows where I live. Believe me, she's been all over this place. She's been there. She's been there. She's been there. Where else has she been? She's been there. Believe me, she's been all over this fucking place. She knows where it's at. Ain't got time for that.
Whenever he goes live, he loves to talk shit about me, about what he would do if he ever saw me in person, and about how he wants to fight me and this and that. Okay, Ryan, if that's really true, then I challenge you to a boxing match. You and me, one-on-one, anywhere you want, any venue you choose. Okay, we can live stream it, we can record it, whatever you want. But I challenge you to a boxing match. How about that? Let's do it. You know, you can get all your anger out on me, all the things
Do you actually think, like, let's put everything else aside, do you actually think that Ken and Ryan in a boxing match would even be like a fair match? It would be an absolute embarrassment. And again, we have these two grown men doing all of this on social media. Ryan wants to say, I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, not on social media, but yet you respond every single time something is said about you. And then we have Ken over here talking about, you know, I want to do a boxing match for entertainment while he's sniffling his mind out. Like, when I say this is just embarrassing and cringy, the only person that I share pity for is this little baby that's gonna grow up and see all of this that unfolded on social media. At least for most of us, you know, at least from like my generation, I can say, yeah, like my parents had issues and I'm sure there were messes along the way, but at least it wasn't online where I can look back and see all of the nonsense that was going on in real time.
you hate about me. Let's do it. But I bet you won't accept it. And I really hope that you do, because that would be fucking pretty entertaining. I think that most people would love to see that. You and me one-on-one in a boxing match? Shit, that'd be content, dude. Let's do it. I'm fucking down.
I need someone to send him some Claritin immediately. It's just like a dead giveaway at a certain point. It's not like, oh, this might happen, this might not. Like, y'all see what's going on here, right?
You name the place, you name the time, you name the venue. You want it to be in Lake Charles? Let's do it. I'll put up the money for it. We can live stream it, we can put it out. Let's do it. You know, because you like to look and sound all tough, you know, on your lives and on your videos and whatever. Dude, put your money where your mouth is. Let's go ahead and do a one-on-one boxing match. What do you say? I'm sure the people would love to see it. Love to see it. I'd be so down.
So then Ken also decided to generate this AI image of him and Ryan with boxing gloves and put it up on his story. Again, this is just... I see two people that are extremely immature fighting over something that is not a prize. Ken is stuck because he had a baby in this situation. Ryan is not stuck, but cannot seem to move on and cannot seem to stop defending her. But both of them are... Neither of y'all are the prize. And you're fighting over something that is not the prize. So maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the answer that I've been looking for. Like, all of them suck.
In the comments keeps bringing up the NDA, which you said in your live earlier, you never signed one with Gypsy. Did you sign one with Lifetime though? And I asked that, has somebody who has filmed and been a location manager.
So by the way, this is basically where Ken admits in a roundabout way that there was an NDA. He couldn't talk about his life, which obviously his life is Gypsy and what's going on day to day. But he really skirts around it, and it's just funny because you wanted to stand 10 toes on, oh, there's no NDA, I didn't do that, Christy's wrong, blah, 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 blah. Let's allow the clip to roll.
For a show.
Okay.
And I know they make you sign NDAs. So did you sign one with Lifetime and not Gypsy? Is that the confusion?
No, I never signed an NDA with Gypsy, and the only agreement that I signed with Lifetime is that I will not put out facts and details of my life because I have to allow the show to do so.
He's wording this in a very specific way, saying that he did not sign one with Gypsy, all while simultaneously acknowledging that he has signed one that involves Gypsy, because he says he can't put out information about his life. His life is Gypsy. At the very end of this conversation, I gave him this piece of advice.
I don't like you, and that's fine. You don't like me. But as somebody that had a spouse that was in prison, if they're unfaithful in prison, they're going to be unfaithful outside of prison.
Well, I know for a fact that she hasn't been, so I'm not worried about that at all.
It's interesting that he said hasn't been instead of she won't be. Also, if anybody knows their mailing address, will somebody mail that man some Claritin because he has the sniffles. We'll see, he reaches over to touch the baby. But that's not what concerned people. This is what had people concerned. Listen. You could clearly hear him vaping, and before anybody's like, oh my God, you're reaching, Gypsy confirmed it herself. So Gypsy, I don't know if you know this because this study did come out while you were in prison, but secondhand smoke and secondhand vaping is bad for kids and babies.
So obviously the vaping next to your infant child is never a good idea. If that's something that you're utilizing to get off cigarettes, I completely understand that. But let's not do it in the same room as your children. And here's the whole thing. If you can't sit on a live stream without doing that, then maybe do a shorter live or go outside and do your live. There are a lot of options and ways to work around that, but you know, again, it goes back to how sad for this child. The last update that I want to post is that Gypsy, before deactivating her social media, shared that they were in another bar. They went down to Miami, and she said, getting drunk again, Ken's eyes are lopsided, and shared 2 different photos. Ken's eyes might have been lopsided because maybe he was playing in the snow a little too long. Just a possibility. And if he's doing it, it makes me wonder if she is not partaking as well. Because let's be honest, 1 and 1 is 2, yeah? But anyway, those are a bunch of random little updates. I figured let's just do it all at once and get caught up to speed. Tell me how you feel down below. I can't wait to see what you'll have to say. But for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.